Morning, Ma.
Good morning.
Welcoming everyone to this fantastic, bright and beautiful Sunday collective with you and me and each other.
And all the others.
And all the others listening in across time and space as we delve into a very interesting topic of the knowledge of inner strength.
So the physical body has some strength,
Yes, Ma.
and depending on the ability of our internal systems to, harness the energy of the food that we're eating, the water that we're drinking, the sunlight that we're absorbing, and the air prana going into our body and coming out, all are fundamentally transforming into very fluid energy that is stored in the spleen and the pancreas. And even the food that we eat, our body uses the nourishment in the moment, and whatever is extra is stored there for our future power, strength, consciousness, emotions, and mental clarity, all coming from this resource of the spleen and the pancreas, where everything is stored for us to access and live our life. That's why the left kidney is just behind the spleen and pancreas, and we are so benevolently associating the left kidneys, of course, our relationships with the rest of the world, and the liver and gallbladder and the right kidney are on the other side of the waist. And we are just dancing and loving ourselves and feeling the embrace of this knowledge coming down. And the knowledge is always encapsulated in our third eye chakra. And of course, if I touch myself, I know that I have the knowledge that my hand is moving and it's touching me or resting on my arm. And that knowledge is also giving us a lot of inner strength. And we are permeating our consciousness with the light. And remember that your aura is like a big cave, and our body is inside that cave of the aura. So what is that cave that is sustaining us, giving us the light, the information, the balance, the wellness? It's all coming from synthesizing the 5 elements of air, water, fire, earth, and space, and the spiritual energies of course, Reiki and my golden cloud and the KQ force, and how you are harnessing that energy which is coming down. So remember, the spiritual energy comes down from a crown chakra, goes to our third eye to awaken the knowledge, and then it's the Agya chakra, or the order-giving chakra, is the third eye, with the memory of the temples, chakras assisting and reverberating with the knowledge. And then the knowledge comes to our throat chakra, and we acknowledge to ourselves. And sometimes, even when we know the truth, we are very silently becoming spectators of our own fortune or misfortune. And we are moving ahead to bring that knowledge into the heart, and from the cave of the heart, because that's where the essential energy of the lake or the cave or the nectarian, energy is flowing down. And then from our heart, they flow into our hands, through our arms and shoulders and everything, and then we are able to heal. And our hands are filled with the golden light, and we share it with one and all. And especially we share it with our own physical body, which needs to be rejuvenated and needs to harness that quality of strength and inner wisdom. And then of course we have the solar plexus, which is keeping our body fit, and our navel, which is accessing the 5 material energies. Just like the spiritual energies come from the crown, the material energies are coming in through our navel. Remember, even when we were in our mother's womb, the placenta was taking the nutrients of air, water, fire, earth, and space from the mother and giving it to our body. So even when we take birth and the umbilical cord is cut, we are still very, very connected to the 5 material energies through our navel. And then the hara is the purpose of life, the kundalini chakra, which is 2 inches above our root, is also harnessing our karmic record, the akashic record, the blueprint of our life, where everything is recorded and written. And if we have to heal to change it, we also have to interfere with that blueprint. And then, of course, our root chakra, which is giving us the power to act, to flow, to live, to dance, to sing, to dream, and have new ideas, new events, new situations, new intentions, to convert our life into a blissful experience of joy. And when we are very centered, then we are always safe. Then even if we have to give up our body at the time of death, we are able to renunciate, and we are moving on to our future journey.
So, Ma, in this process of accessing the knowledge through the senses, the chakras, the blessings, our experiences, what is that one moment of transformation when that knowledge becomes strength?
When that knowledge becomes strength is, I can share a story, and that may answer your question. And the story is about this gentleman who has a very fancy home and a lovely life, but he feels that there's some disquiet inside himself, and he really wants to cherish himself more. So he hears about a sage who will answer questions about your life quest. So he, walks out of his village and goes to other towns, finally finds the sage. And the sage listens to him, and he says that, you're going to find your answer at the crossroads just between these three villages. So you go over there and you will find your answer. So this gentleman again seeks the sage's blessings, and then he starts to walk, and he reaches the crossroad of the three villages. And there he finds that there are only three solitary shops. One is selling metal, one is selling wood, and one is selling metal wires. So he's looking at these three shops and he's thinking, what am I going to do with the wood, the metal, and the wires? I have nothing to do with it. So where is my answer? Where is my answer? So he decides that the sage is not really given him any good direction, and he has to shop around now for a new guru, and he has to seek and search on his own. It's not been of great help.
Yes, ma'am.
So then he's walking, and now he's a little bit tired. He rests, and then he walks some more, and then many days later he's walking along the banks of a river, and he hears a very sweet sound. And he is very attracted to the sound. So he keeps walking towards the sound, and he keeps walking. And he finds that there's this solitary man sitting under a tree. And he has a sitar, and he's playing the melody. So he looks at the sitar and he says, oh my God, wires, wood, metal. So he says that, so in that moment, he knows that he has to take lessons from this guru now, and he has to get his own sitar, and he has to play, on the strings of life, and he has to make magic. So he becomes a very, very famous sitar player.
Wow.
So all the knowledge is actually inside us, and the visuals of the material universe are always giving us little images of what is to come. This is what you have to use. But we all tend to ignore it, and sometimes we even rebuke and we reject and we renunciate all the information that is coming to us to build our knowledge further and further. So is that your question answered? That finally it's like little glimpses of knowledge.
I think my takeaway is that the knowledge, exactly like you said, Ma, that the knowledge is already seeded at a soul level, and then the guru arrives to awaken and create that into a sapling, and then we are on a quest to maybe gift those saplings of knowledge in the world all around us.
Yeah.
And so then when we are guided to spaces and places and people, we may still have a few lessons to learn before that strength moment is accessed and activated.
We've cleansed the mirror of our mind sufficiently for the knowledge to awaken us to what we really have to do.
And what is our purpose?
Yeah, and learning is a very important process of assimilating knowledge. So you learn, we must learn from every situation, every event, every interaction with other human beings, even with animals, plants. You could be talking to a plant, the plant could be answering your questions, the bee could be buzzing around a flower and give you the nectar of honey. Remember in the Let's Heal this morning, I was saying that let go of all the debris from your aura to bring in succinct emotional integrity and knowledge. And when you had emptied the aura and ever spaces, then it was like filling it with nectarian gold energies that resemble honey and the sweetness. So when we are filled with that nectarian honey, then everything in our self-awareness, self-image, it's not about the past and it's not about the future, but it's about being in the present and taking it forward one moment at a time. Many of us have this ability and this haste. I always find that it's a haste.
Yes,
that somebody gets a promotion today and in 3 weeks they're back in my office saying, when is my next promotion? Because they're not satisfied, they're not enjoying their achievements, they're not able to validate and say, well done. And they're just on this roller coaster ride to a feeling insufficiency and feeling inadequate and feeling not so appreciated and validated.
So Ma, I always had this question, two questions actually. One about in this context of not being satisfied or not being able to enjoy the achievements or the gifts of our life, does that then hinder our ability to even access the knowledge and then thereby the strength?
Yeah, and also that what is your next action, A lot of us walk through life thinking that everything is going to happen automatically and I'm so dissatisfied, and if there was a God, he wouldn't be punishing me like this. But the reality is that every episode in your life is happening because it's come to give you some heightened knowledge and to help you to build your inner strength so that you can access that knowledge and make it available not only to yourself but to your world, to your universe. It could be a simple thing as a recipe for cooking a particular dish.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're cooking it for yourself and your friends or your family, and that is also building some inner strength. And then everybody's saying that it's really nice, then it's building more strength. And if people say, this doesn't have enough salt, then that's also information and knowledge that you're getting, that how you can improve that dish more. So we must keep looking at what the universe is supplying to us, what is the information, what is the revelation, what is the recipe for making your life a little bit more profoundly nectarian and sweet. And it's about compassion, it's about truth, it's about trusting that the divine is taking care of us and is giving us that information which is going to help us to further unravel our own destiny.
Ma, in the last Sunday Collective, you had said that the one can only access or establish trust with the truth. And so then how does that link up to the truth of the knowledge and the truth of the inner strength? Like, is all knowledge truthful? Yes.
Yeah, all knowledge is truthful. I had an interaction yesterday that we have a mango tree at the farm.
Yes, ma'am.
And last Sunday I had said that let's have some panna,
Yes.
So I told one of the boys that you pluck some few mangoes from the tree and we are going to drink this. We are going to make this drink right now. So he had very sweetly prepared, I think there were 15-20 of us, and he had very sweetly prepared this drink and we had all had it and we had really appreciated the mango tree in the garden, and we had harnessed, a lot of love and gratefulness and satisfaction, and it was a very, interactive moment with everyone appreciating. And then yesterday I was talking to my gardener and he was telling me that there weren't sufficient mangoes on the tree that were unripe, that they're in the process of turning sweet. So it would not have made the mango drink very
nice and sour.
So he had actually just rushed to the market and he had bought some more mangoes to add to those mangoes. So I was like, that we didn't have the information.
Yes.
So then yesterday I was sending love to all the trees that gave birth to those mangoes that we had used, and
So sometimes knowledge can be incomplete.
Yes, that's what
You're
trying to
highlighting.
establish.
Yes, ma.
That
So it's not like a lie.
No.
But it is just
insufficient information.
This is so interesting and fascinating.
Yeah,
yes, ma, please say.
And it was their devotion to making a perfect drink that they thought that those mangoes that were a little sweetened would not be so tasty. So they had rushed to the market to get some.
So was it their knowledge, like the gardener and their recipe? So it was the knowledge of the recipe requiring a certain ingredient, and then the knowledge of the execution of that recipe then collaborated with other mangoes from other trees that were in the market that also had the knowledge that they had to come here on that particular day and be part of that process of becoming that drink, so that everyone else
would be nourished and their bodies would enjoy and be satiated and feel very loved.
So are these like cycles of knowledge and webs of strength and webs of knowledge and cycles of strength? Like how do we see it as networks? They're interwoven like a network.
And little twinkling gems and jewels that are studded onto it. It's like a stole that you're wearing, and every time you do a good act, there's one more gem starts shining. And every time you leave and, you say you procrastinate or you don't do sufficient effort even though you have the knowledge, then one of the gems may be shutting down a little bit. Because they have to plug into the electric, psychic system of your aura, your auric fields and your energy fields to get that vital energy to be brilliantly sparkling all the time.
So when we are brilliantly sparkling all the time with the light and the love and life, sometimes our sparkle can dim because maybe of our own thoughts or circumstances, or we feel...
Or we just switch off.
Or we switch off. So how do we switch it back on? Of course, by being grateful. I was going to say, of course, by connecting to the healing light, but sometimes we may not be in that space to even wanting to chant the mantras or the prayers or putting our healing hands on our chakras. So is that like an interlude with depression that then debilitates our access to the knowledge and then debilitates our strength?
We do sometimes have moments of anxiety, like if it's very hot in Delhi and then suddenly it was raining at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock this morning. And some people may have got up with, noticing the heaviness in the air. Even though they were sleeping, they may have, with the start gotten up and said, what's happening? Why am I feeling so anxious? And then after a little while, there was thunder, lightning. And some people could be even afraid of the thunder and lightning. But then the plants were dancing because they were getting the water from the skies. And their bodies were being nourished and cleansed and helped to recreate the greens, and the foliage was shining. This morning when we went into the garden, it was beautiful.
Yes.
Different greens, all bathed and fresh and looking so nectarian.
And lots of browns have been highlighted because of the rain, and there's like a muddiness to the light, fragrance. And there's a lot of fragrance.
Yeah, so everything is coming together to create an impression and an energy that you can inhale, and it can go into the cave of your heart, or it could be in the cave of the aura or the auric field or the energy field. And I always explain that the aura is like an onion ring, so it has many, many, many rings and many, many layers of good fortune waiting for you to catch
harness it all.
harness it, and to live with it, and to love everyone around you, and that will bring gratitude and satisfaction to your aura, and you'll be blissed out.
So how do we identify like a knowledge center in our body? Like you said, is the spleen, pancreas, solar
Where the
plexus,
storage of
and
energy.
gallbladder, liver, and the kidneys, like that entire upper
Belt.
abdomen belt is like the knowledge center, correct,
Yes.
Ma?
Yeah.
And so how do we identify, like, is the knowledge center of our house or everyone's home like the kitchen then? Like, I'm just thinking out aloud.
The
because
Brahmasthan, the
Brahmasthan,
center,
okay.
the navel center of the
Okay.
house, the Brahmasthan, where all the vital portals of vital energy are being absorbed and redistributed.
So we should sit in the center of our home, whether it's like a drawing
Yeah.
room or it could be a study or it could,
It
be,
just
a courtyard
passage.
or a
You
passage.
Can just do your kikyu dance or do something there to
Oh, wow.
harness and access those energies. It's a simple thing, we can be very anxious. Like yesterday, I had somebody who wanted their passport to be revalidated, so the police personnel had to come to the house
Yes,
to
ma'am.
check out the details and whether the person actually lives there and all. And then they were writing to me that the policeman hasn't come. And then I sent Healy and I sent them a message that he will come and he will validate your papers.
Absolutely.
Just trust the universe. And then immediately I got a message back from the person saying that he came, he found all the papers were valid, and now everything's been authenticated and we will get our passport very quickly. And then the little line at the end of it was that we all need a healing angel in our life and you are ours.
Yes, Ma.
So
You are
so
our inner
sweet.
strength and you are our knowledge
Bringer,
bringer. Yes, Ma.
awakener,
Awakener.
beginner.
We are the beginners.
We must
yes.
begin every day when
Every
we wake
day.
up in the morning with the positive thoughts of gratitude for waking up and being gifted another day to live and to hear, to sing, to play the sitar and have the melodious notes distributed into the universe. The birds will enjoy it as much as other human beings. And somebody may think that it's too much noise.
Oh, no.
Yeah. If you're living in an apartment, your neighbors could complain.
Yes, Ma, I visited someone yesterday who has had such a joyous moment in their life of getting their daughter married. And I was quite shocked that they were saying that in one of the events, which was like a dhol night, and it was a spontaneous gathering of both sides, the groom and the bride, that there were 7 neighbors of theirs, which I thought was such an interesting number, that 7 neighbors that had called the police to complain about
the
this
noise
joyous.
that
They found the joy and the celebration to be noisy,
Yeah,
disrupting. So I was thinking that where is the knowledge disconnect and where is the lacking of the inner strength in a community that doesn't want to just come down onto the street and celebrate and be part of that procession, like as neighbors.
No, because you see, only this morning at around 5 o'clock in the morning, you were sharing with me that there is in a village that somebody has cleared the UPSC exam and the father has called the entire village to celebrate.
Yes.
So, I'm asking this person, why did you not invite those 7 neighbors?
Oh, right.
So they're feeling ousted from your inner circle,
Yes.
and they're not part of your celebration and your joyfulness. So they're going to stir the pot and they're going to complain, because they're not complaining about the noise and the pollution. Maybe they are, maybe there's somebody sick in the house. We don't know, maybe it's disturbing them, but the reality is that your neighborhood should be invited for this most auspicious wedding celebration. And then of course people say we have numbers and we can't invite everyone.
Yes,
But I always feel that you should invite everyone at least for one event.
Okay.
So participation is of paramount importance. Brotherhood.
To build the knowledge and access the inner strength.
Yeah. So when you have community with you, That's also part of your strength. When
So
you
now
have
just to
emotion-
pause and highlight that participation is paramount, you said.
Yeah.
This is so fascinating. So then how do we reach out to unknown people in our community to strengthen that participation, and how do we know that the participation is not going to be antagonistic from
it's
their
always
side or our
reciprocal.
side?
When you go with love, you will. The universe is always responding to how you feel. Yesterday,
Yes,
I had a
ma'am.
mother who was very anxious, and and she was telling me, my child is so anxious, and he's crying all the time. So I said, he's just picking up your energies. So first, you have to center yourself, and then you have to cuddle your child and hug it, give it the nutrients of that spiritual enhancement for that child to reciprocate. And then in the evening she sent me a message saying that I was in a bad mood and I'm so much better, and both my children are now responding to me differently. So it was like a hands-on experiment that the mother can change her energy and the children change automatically. Because like attracts like, energy follows thought.
Absolutely.
So you have
ma'am.
to, if you want goodness to be attracted into your event of the wedding, then you have to also be generous. You have to be interacting with all your neighbors
Wow.
or
So
doing some community service.
to reach out and to
Yeah,
touch
yeah.
their lives in a meaningful
Full way.
and gentle way,
Yeah.
and so that then they know that the doorways and pathways are open for them to do the
And
same.
that they are honored neighbors.
Neighbors.
That you do have access to inviting them and being nice to them.
Yes, Ma. So we have Annie and Mayuri from Bombay who say that, yes, Ma, you are our inner strength.
So sweet.
And then we have Danny and Nelson and Fozia who are saying, Danny says, hello, beautiful souls, missing you both, sending much love and light.
Hello,
We are
hello.
receiving and sharing with you. There's Rakshita who sends her love. Sunena who says, Ma, you're looking radiant as
Get
ever.
well soon, Sunena.
And she says, I'm harnessing the strength from the Sunday Collective and Renooji's light to heal from my spinal procedure.
Yes, she's going to be fine.
And then we have Sudesh who says, hearts and pranams to the
Oh.
awakeners.
Love you.
We love you. Come visit us soon.
Hmm.
And then we have our beautiful Simran Sani, who says, Happy Father's Day to you, Ma, because you
Oh, I
are
am father.
the father to all of us, mother and father
I
to all
like this
of us.
exchange.
Yeah, it's universal. Because I
Okay.
was thinking actually as I was getting up in the morning, a lot of my uncles and all sent me very sweet messages to connect on this beautiful Father's Day. And I was thinking that what is the energy of the father, and it is actually rootedness.
Yeah, to
And
be
so
very stable.
to be very stable, and so I am totally vibing with Simran because I did wish you happy Father's Day in the morning, and Ma was like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" And I was like, "No, because you are my rooted strength and my knowledge. So I am so
Bringer of
knowledge. So
Remover of ignorance.
So I'm so awakened, right?
Yes. And strengthened.
And then we have Sakshi and Purnima who are all sending their love. Then we have Rekha Masi from Bangalore who is sending her love. And we have a few questions. So I'm just scrolling through from the live comments. Yes, so we have Neha who says, grateful Ma for sending and channeling all
Healing
the
for
strength and
Dad.
knowledge and healing for Dad. And she says, dear Ma, how do we build daily inner strength so diseases like cancer don't enter our aura? Pranams at your holy lotus feet.
So the first thing is to visualize at the base of your feet and at your toes that there are very strong golden rays of light that are going through the magnetic field of Mother Earth, and you are sending your love to Mother Earth. So in that giving, Mother Earth also pulls away all the toxic waste from your body. So it could be from the base of your spine, which is your root chakra, and your feet soles. And then, you just do this visualization for 1 minute, and I call it the rooting meditation. And so you're sending love to Mother Earth, and Mother Earth is also reciprocating and sending her energies back to you to strengthen your body. Remember that your physical body is very charged up with the energies of the 5 elements of air, water, fire, earth and space. And this harnessing is of course happening through those roots and also through your navel. And I always say that spend some time in the sun, drink lots of water, walk barefoot in the garden if you can, or barefoot in the house for at least 5 minutes, and do some pranayam, breathing, and create space, declutter. Not have too much of everything on top of you where you don't feel that you can open yourself. So there should be the willingness to spread your arms wide, just like the wings of a bird, and then to hug yourself. And of course eat small meals, because you can't overload your digestive system and then think that I'm going to be healthy.
Yes, ma'am.
So overeating is not such a good pastime.
So sometimes do we overload ourselves with emotion as well?
Yeah.
And our own repetitive negative thoughts?
Yeah, I find that people who get cancer are actually dissatisfied people who are always complaining about, and they could be very sweet on the outside, but they're complaining that nobody is doing anything for them, and they will not ask.
Oh.
So that can be a cancer profile as well. But again, for Neha, I don't see any cancer energies in your aura. So relax.
Yes.
And eat well, eat healthy, and spread a lot of love and joy.
Yes,
For
ma'am.
Sunita Didi, for Dad, for Fifi, and sending healing for all of you, and your brother and Bhabhi.
Yes, ma'am. And then we have Aditi Gupta who joins in, and she's saying pranams and she's requesting blessings and healing for her dad. And then we have
That's
Anjali Kumar from the Philippines,
Oh, so sweet.
saying thank you for empowering by your presence this August morning. Thankful hugs.
Love
And
you.
then we have a physical manifestation of maybe it's a healing request, but I'm thinking that it could be part of this decoding for all of us about strength. Because Rita Arora requests, she says, Dearest Ma, requesting healing and blessings for my son Ankur, who is having a lot of back pain on his right side. So how important is the health of our spine in indicating how weak or strong we are?
Yeah, they say depending on the flexibility of the spine is your age, your wellness, your harnessing the maximum energy. Then the right side is of course the liver and gallbladder and the right kidney. So lower back pain could be that there's some unfulfilled purpose of life where he's feeling some insufficiency. So we'll send him healing. Ankur will feel better.
That's so sweet, Ma.
And harnessing energies of good fortune also comes from doing some healing and some prayers and some charity. So a very good thing for lower back pain is to give some cooked food to a poor person.
Oh, how does that work? Because it activates our
All the 5 elements.
5 elements.
Harmonize, and then our back and our physical body gets harmonized. Remember that the physical body is very dependent on food and water.
Yes,
So even
ma'am.
giving somebody a bottle of water is great charity.
Great charity.
Especially in the heat. Delhi, Gurgaon, Noida, we are in so much, what should we call it, Delhi is on red alert.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
we had rain last night, so it's
We
good.
did have rain last night.
Hmm.
So in this, the reign of the bounty of the light and the universe, we have Annie who asked the question that, Dearest Ma, so grateful for all the download of knowledge. This decluttering is very interesting as I find it imperative for daily peace and space in the mind to be creative and fly. So how do we really declutter our space is her question. And I have an add-on that how do we know something is clutter or it's actually helping us harness
So
some
if
energies?
you go into the kitchen, I remember going to someone's house once and I said, okay, I'm going to go to the kitchen. And I opened the cupboard and lots of packets fell out.
Yes,
They had
ma'am.
haldi packets and red chili powder, and they had some masalas, some pav bhaji masala, this, that, and everything was in the packets that they had just opened a little bit and used a little bit, and they had not found a container in which they could seal or keep those packets, right?
Yes,
It
ma'am.
could be a big box or, a wooden box or something where you could keep all the masalas handy. So that is a big clutter, because even those masalas are wanting some respect, because they're going to add flavor to the dishes that you're going to cook, and they're going to bring you good health with all the spices and all the nutrients that are part of that recipe. So I think that decluttering is first in the physical environment. It could be your clothes, it could be too many shoes, it could be, I know somebody who collects a lot of soaps and keeps little pieces that I'll use it later. And so depending on how you are harnessing your space, and of course stacking paintings. When I'm looking at Annie's house, there are lots and lots of paintings that are just stacked up on the side, and some are rolled, and some, so that is she needs to put that into some order and some balance, so that she can paint and sell her artworks brilliantly. We'll send healing for it. And of course, in your even in your living spaces, sometimes we'll just keep folding the clothes that we've worn and keep thinking we'll put it back in the cupboard, but they never go back in the cupboard. So that's also a lot of clutter.
Yes, ma'am.
Books, magazines. I know somebody who loves eating sweets, so they have like candy. It's like a candy store, where they sit.
Okay.
So depends on what is your fetish. Somebody would have hand creams of different fragrances that they want to keep
dipping into. Yes, ma'am. So as we're the fragrances dipping into, I'll take one final question as we're wrapping up, because we go into the open house and so many of you might be listening in and on your way to the physical Sunday Collective, which is every third Sunday of the month, unless otherwise stated. And so we have Aditi Gupta, who asked that how do we connect with the Reiki energy while practicing, because usually my mind is hardwired to dismiss these concepts.
Yeah, but why is it hardwired? Because you have a disconnect with your heart. Remember that Reiki is the universal life force energy, which is keeping you alive. It's just like your car has petrol to move, and if the petrol is over, then the car is also standing still. Now you have to rush to a petrol pump to get and put and then restart your car. So the Reiki energies are only disconnecting for a few minutes at the point of death. Otherwise, we are all born with the universal life force energy that comes down from our crown chakra at the top of our head, enters our third eye, throat and heart, and the living place of this universal life force is the heart. And from the heart it goes through the shoulders, upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, and into our hands, and whatever we touch, the healing energies are going through. So, even a neonatology newborn baby has got the universal life force that is keeping you alive. And even after you leave this body and move to the other, the energies start flowing again to give the soul the impetus to reach its destination. So whether you are hardwired to not believe this concept, it's the same as eating food and the same as drinking water. So you are going to piddle and you're going to pass stool, because there is that waste has to be eliminated from the body. So the same way, when we are doing our healing, we're bringing in the nectarian energies, and through our feet and through our root chakra, we are excavating the debris out of our body.
Yes, ma'am.
So we must, let go in order for us to harness the new energies and to build on the inner strength. And the inner strength is always living in the third eye chakra and the heart. So I call it the twin heart meditation, when your mental, emotional selves are co-joined and you are inviting pleasure and satisfaction into your body. And the highest satisfaction is when we are able to do something for someone else. So whether you want to give the healing to yourself, give it to the others. Even to your plants, to your pet dog, or to the cat, or whoever is part of your sojourn.
Part of our community.
And
that
collective.
Participation, the collective, the network, the knowledge, and the destiny
And the
unlocked
inner strength.
Through the inner strength.
Full of knowledge.
Full of knowledge. So I think, so we should continue on our knowledge quest daily.
Every day.
Every day.
Remember the crossroad of the gentleman who said there's wood, there's metal, and there's wires.
Yes, ma. And in that wood, metal, wires, creating the symphony of the sound of the sitar. What is that one symphonic collaboration and melody that we can do right here today as the session ends?
I love myself.
I love myself. And I love you, ma.
I love you.
Love you all.
See you next Sunday.
See you.
Love you.